Hello, everybody. For those of you who don't know, I am Anthony Blair, and I am a Cicerone certified beer connoisseur. I know a bit about beer. Whoa. Let me tell you a little story about a man named Ted. Ted liked beer, but it never had any head. But then one day, Ted went to grab a brew. The brew had a head, and Ted didn't know what to do. He's like, yo, what's up with this beer? Bartender says, what are you talking about? Ted says, this head, it's at least 2 fingers. Bartender says, as it should be. Ted says, I want more beer, I don't want more head. Bartender says, look, man, we don't pour beer like that here, but I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll tell you why we put head on our beer, and if you want a headless beer after that, I'll pour you one. The beer tender told him this. Beer head is comprised of protein, carbohydrates, and carbon dioxide that rise up to the surface of beer liquid. These spaghetti-like molecules, they form a net that holds the beer bubbles in place. There we go. Bitter hop aromas naturally migrate to the top of beer head, so your beer head may be more bitter than your beer liquid. You want to try this out? Swirl the head around in your beer, take a drink. Is it more bitter? A dense beer head creates a creamy mouthfeel on our tongue. If you infuse that with nitrogen, like a Guinness beer, you'll see why people have been drinking Guinness for over 260 years. Brewers work hard to put a head on their beer because they know each one of those little bubbles carry a little puff of aroma. And if you smell a beer as the beer head degrades, you get a chance to see what you're about to taste. The primal parts of our brain is connected to aroma, and scientists recently discovered that our primitive brain plays a more active role in our day-to-day processes. And we put together aroma in 2 ways. When we smell through our nose, that's called orthonasal olfaction. Orthonasal olfaction gives us an opportunity to take in our environment aromatically. When we take in aroma through our nose from the back of our mouth and throat, that's retronasal olfaction. And that, my friends, is the key to elevating your beer game and experiencing the fullness of beer. And now that we know all of this, we have to challenge ourselves to do better. We have to do more. We have to search for flavor. We have to elevate the beer tasting game, y'all. And in order to do that, we have to put together taste, aroma, and mouthfeel to elevate. We can create wow moments tasting beer. So let's play a little game called Beer Simon Says. Beer Simon Says, try and get a head up on your beer. Inhale. We inhale and we activate senses in our nose. Beer Simon Says, take a swig of beer. Let it sit on your tongue. The taste buds in our mouth send basic beer information through the brainstem into the higher centers of our brain. Beer Simon Says, take another drink of your beer. Move your tongue around in the liquid. Mouth sensors give us an indication of the character and texture in beer. Beer Simon Says, move the slide. Beer Simon Says, take a swig of beer. Let it sit on your tongue. Aroma and sugar molecules get broken down by saliva and bacteria and release aroma into our mouth. Beer Simon Says, take another drink of your beer. Swish it around. Breathe out through your nose. When we breathe out through our nose, we can detect more complex aromas in our beer. Beer Simon Says, think about what you tasted, what you smelled, the feeling in your mouth. This is called flavor. Flavor is when you describe what you like and don't like about your beer. And that slide needs to go. There we go. There we go. And I actually missed that slide, but you know what? We can elevate our beer tasting experience by doing a few things. 1, we can get a 2-finger head on our beer. 2, we can activate the senses in our head. 3, we can find deeper flavors in the beer. And 4, we can describe what we're tasting, and that's flavor. So the beer tender told his tale, and then he asked Ted, "Want me to pour you a beer with no head?" Ted shook his head, and then he said, "No, please, give me more head." More head, guys.